Let's finish up our home loan workbook series of videos by taking a look at the components of the principal payment and the interest payment. You will recall from our previous lessons that a mortgage is an amortized loan. And it's an amortized loan because we have a single payment over a fixed period of time, and that payment is split between the interest payment and the principal payment. The interest payment being the cost of the loan, the amount we must pay each month for borrowing our principal amount, and then the principal payment is the amount of our payment that actually goes to paying off the original borrowed amount. In this lesson, we'll create a graph to illustrate how interest and principal are related to the payment and how it changes over time. So the outcome of this lesson is for you to create a graph that looks like this. The amount of money here on the y-axis, which would represent a component of the payment, and then we have the time here, our 30 years in this case. The blue is the interest payment and the orange is the principal payment. And so notice what happens here. If you were to tell a story about this graph, it would be that in the early years of the mortgage, the interest is the largest portion of the payment. This is all the money that's going to actually pay for the cost of the loan. And so it's going down with each payment period until eventually it reaches zero, termination of the loan. And then the principal payment starts off as a relatively small amount compared to the interest payment, this distance here. And then as you move through time making your payments, an increasingly amount of that payment goes to paying off the actual principal loan. And so somewhere here in about 12 years on this loan, here at 2032, then roughly half of the payment is going to interest, half going to principal, and then eventually the principal starts to become a larger portion of the loan payoff. The principal payment becomes a bigger part of the payment, and eventually paying off the entire loan. So the way to create that is how we've done it in previous lessons, is to go to your workbook, select the interest amount and the principal payment amount for the entire 360 periods. And then, of course, as you have done in previous lessons, insert line chart, and that will be the foundation of your chart. And you can go ahead and continue so that when you're finished, you end up with a chart that looks like that. And we do want to thank Allison and Lisbeth for pointing out that in the first recording of this, we did have a little bit of a irregularity as far as the discussion of what should be graphed. So you can use either Workbook Video 7 or Video 8. If you do use your Video 8, make sure that you unprotect it. Otherwise, you won't have access to any of this information. And then create a line chart using the payment amount and the interest amount for the full 360 periods. Apply a proper title and set it as its own worksheet and have me come by and take a look at that.